Problem set 8.1 on page 575. On the first 14 there, you're just changing the lengths using the English system or the US system from one unit of measure to another, miles to feet, inches to feet, etc. Let's do number 11. We're changing 2.5 miles to feet. So again, 2.5 miles times line, miles on the bottom. Do we know anything about miles and feet? We know that there are 5,280 feet in 1 mile. So we can cancel those. Is that what we're looking for? Yes, it is. So we know we're done. We're going to put a line with a 1 under there to make sure we multiply the 2.5 times the 5,280. And when we do that, we'll end up getting 13,200 feet. Don't forget the unit of measure there. That's very important to have that on there. When we get to 15 to 28, same type of thing, only we're going metric. So we're going to be translating from meters to kilometers and centimeters to meters and that kind of thing. Let's do a meters to kilometers. 248 meters to kilometers. So we're going to write our problem, 248 meters times line, meters on bottom. Okay. Do we know anything about meters and kilometers? Well, if you look on page 572, table 4, middle of the page, or the middle column, let's see, is there anything in there? Yeah, very bottom. 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. So 1,000, we have to put that down there because that's where our meters are. 1 kilometer. Alright, so we cancel that because this one's on the top. Remember, if we make it a fraction, that's on the top, that's on the bottom, so we cancel them. Kilometers is left, that's what we're looking for. So we multiply 248 times 1, and that is over 1,000. And when you divide that out, you end up with a decimal, which is what you want. And you end up with 0.248 kilometers. Don't forget to put your unit of measure there as far as the kilometers are concerned. Alright, continuing on with this lesson. Moving over to page number 576. They've got some applications of the concept, so we've got some story problems there. If you look at some of them, like number 34, it's just talking about the width of a desk. And it gives it in inches, and it wants you to change that width to yards. 36, you've got a transmitting tower that's 100 feet tall, and they want you to change the feet to inches. So basically it's the same thing you were doing in practicing 1 to 14, and then they'll throw some metric ones in there. But the ones I want to focus on just for a few minutes would be on the next page, which would be 577. Let's look at number 43. We've got the maximum speed limit on a part of Highway 101 in California is 55 miles per hour. And the way you're going to write that is miles over hours. Miles, this line here signifies the word per. You know, 55 divided by, 55 to, 55 per. So this line represents many different things, but when you're doing a ratio like this, it's 55 miles per how many hours? Well, 1 hour. So every hour you're going to go 55 miles. What they want us to do is convert miles per hour to feet per second. So that's what we're doing. So we're not only translating the miles to feet, but we're also translating the hours into seconds. So let's go ahead and write this as 55 miles over 1 hour. And then we're going to write our multiplication sign in our line. Okay? Let me erase this up here. Give us a little more room. Okay. So we've got our 55 miles per hour times line, and then we can make a decision. Do we want to start changing our miles to feet, or do we want to start working on our hours and turn that into seconds? Well, let's just work at the miles. We're not going to worry about the hours. We'll just pretend that they don't exist right now. We'll just change our miles to feet. So I put my miles down here. Now I have to look back on page number 570, middle of the page, middle column. Do I have any conversion there that compares miles to feet? Yes, I do. It says that if I have 1 mile, so I can put a 1 there in front of the mile, 1 mile equals 5,280 feet. So once I do that, I've got the feet, because remember I'm translating this to feet per second. So I found my feet. I cross out my miles here, because I've got 1 up there and 1 down there, and I'm good to go for the 5,280. So let's circle this to show that we are at the stopping point there. Alright, that being the case, now we're going to change our hours to seconds, because that's what we're looking for here. Again, we draw our multiplication sign, our line. Our hours are down here, so they have to go on top. Just like our miles were on top here, they had to go on bottom. Hours on the bottom have to go on top. So, do we know anything about hours in seconds? Well, no, not really, but we do know something about hours and minutes. So we can at least convert our hours to minutes, and then maybe go from the minutes to seconds. So we know 1 hour is 60 minutes. So we can cancel our hours there and there, because this is on the bottom, that's on the top. Are minutes what we're looking for? No, they're not. So we've got to keep going. So we draw another multiplication sign, draw a line. Minutes are down here. We put minutes up here. And do we know anything about minutes and seconds? So we know that there are 60 seconds in 1 minute. Alright, that being the case, seconds is what we're looking for here. So we were looking for feet there, we found them. Now we're looking for seconds here, we found them. We can cancel our minute here and our minute here. Alright, and this is the part that gets kind of confusing, because now you've got a whole bunch of stuff to multiply and divide. We're going to multiply 55 times 5,280 times 1 times 1. And we're going to have the 1 hour times 1 mile times 60 minutes times 60 seconds. So we're going to multiply these two, and we're going to multiply these two, and then we're going to divide this answer by this answer, whatever 60 times 60 is, which is 3,600. 55 times 5,280, I have no idea what that is, but that divided by 3,600 will give you your feet per second. So that's problem set 8.1.